Hi, and welcome to Happy Fisherman Adventures.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.
Well, in today's episode, we're going to show you a few adventures. The first one is when TB got smacked by a shark and he ended up for 2 weeks on antibiotics.
Well, at first I thought that's nothing.
It looked like
It was
nothing.
a little scratch and that, but that got infected.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much I treated. I had to go doctors on antibiotics. So you're going to see that adventure with me, Michael from Mediterranean Restaurant, our friend Brett Dennis. Actually, it was actually a great session. We were at Mud Island having fun with we got some slimy mackerel, heaps of benjos, and then we managed to get a beautiful gummy shark. But I paid the price. So that's the first part. The second part is actually chasing squid.
Yes. Last Saturday, it was a beautiful day, and TB, John Lone Ranger, and myself, we went out, and alongside us was our friend Andrew Westlake. We had quite lots of fun catching squid at St Leonards.
St Leonards, we started at Jackrabbit.
We did.
We ended up going to, Prince George, got nothing. And we just kept going around. We even end up at the wreck. So let's watch the first video today. Well, this adventure starts at St Leonards and we're on the way to our favorite spot at Mud Island. On board with me today is Michael and Brett. Our target today is gummy shark. But while you're there, you have to try everything else while you're waiting for the big rods to take off. And as you can see, Michael started our session with some arrow squid. At first, I thought that's just a fluke. But then, 2 minutes later, Michael brings another one. Few people did ask, can you eat arrow squid? And of course you can. It's a little bit tougher, it's not as good as actually southern calamari, but you can definitely eat it. Also, it makes a magnificent bait. One more thing, be careful how you handle arrow squid. They got a beak and they'll bite, and they're much more aggressive than actual southern calamari. As you can see here, I didn't even have time to put the cameras on, we were already catching. Obviously, Michael started with some squid, arrow squid, and Brett was bottom bashing. While he was doing that, he managed to get some flatheads. Unfortunately, the flatheads were very small and then obviously they had to go back. But not long after, we had a new species coming to say hello. While Brett was dealing with his flathead, the big rod had an inquiry. Just by looking at it, I knew that's no gummy shark, it's either benjo or a Port Jackson shark. Anyway, this time it was a benjo shark, obviously goes back, and yeah, we just reset and start again. When we target gummy shark, we have mixed bait. We use squid rings, we use yucca, salmon, trevally if I have some, or if we can catch a fresh bite like here, we start catching some slimy mackerel, that will be number one. When slimy mackerel is around, it's actually lots of fun. They fight really good, it's lots of fun on the light rod, and as I said before, they make a great bait. While we were waiting for the big rod to take off, Michael and Brett had ball catching these slimies. And just remember, slimy mackerel, it's actually mid-water. Don't drop the bait on the floor, on the bottom, because all you're gonna get here is flatheads. So slimy mackerel is about 3 meters just under the surface. Here we use just a plain paternoster rig with the small hooks, and a small pieces of pilchard. They absolutely love pilchard. One more thing to take in consideration, don't play with them too much because they do this big circle around and they can get all your lines tangled. So make sure you have a lot of tension on them and try to get them in the boat as soon as possible. At this stage, the arrow squid slowed down completely and Brett was catching slimies left, right and center, so I set up Michael to do the same. In no time, Michael got the hang of it and he was having a ball. Michael loves his fishing. Unfortunately, he owns Mediterraneo restaurant, a beautiful restaurant in Albert Park, and he doesn't have much free time, but when he does, he comes and he spends a lot of time with me and Mima, and for him, catching anything, even banjo, it's fun.
Well, in the next video, you're going to see when they actually landed the gummy, what happened.
So far, on the big roads, all we were getting is banjo after banjo. Unfortunately, that's fishing at Mud Island. The good thing is, Michael and Brett were having fun with slimy mackerel, with some arrow squid, and other species. Then, here we go. Just before we wanted to leave, we packed up, we actually had the cameras off and everything, the big rod took off. Now this time it was serious. I definitely called it, it's a gummy shark, and as you can see it's my snapper rods. I don't use heavy duty rods and that, but unfortunately this fish was quite big, so I had to take my time, and the worst thing that happened, we had another rod tangled over it. The main line being braid, I was actually worried that if I cut it and it's still stuck on the bottom or something, it will burn and it'll cut me off. So we had to work as a team. As I was fighting the fish, Brett was actually hand bringing the other line slowly with no tension at all, so it doesn't rub against each other. We managed to retrieve quite a bit of line back, and at this stage the shark was already on top water, so it was time to grab the gaff. This gummy was quite nice size, and you had to have a perfect gaff shot. You can't hit him in the back or in the tail or whatever. You need to actually grab him just above the head and bring him in like that. As we bring her in the boat, she actually slapped me on the leg. I did not react to it as it was nothing special. So we were taking photos, we were actually happy. Well, flake for dinner. I have to say we were lucky because we were just about to go home. So that was a bonus. Now, once I looked at my leg, it was a little bit red. Nothing that I was worried about till I found out that that was a shark rash. Even that I did put betadine when I got home and I cleaned it, unfortunately got infected and I ended on antibiotics. Remember, you need to bleed the gummy shark straight away, which we did, and then when we got home, I actually showed Brett how I fillet the gummy shark with minimal waste. When we measured the shark, it ended up to be 1.5 meters. Anyway, the hooks were still in there. I took them out and then I did a step-by-step tutorial for Brett how I actually cleaned the gummy shark. Well, John, shark rash.
Oh, shark rash. What a pain. Yeah, I can see you trying to shave your legs with a shark. That's not a good idea. But look, shark rash can really be problematic. You really need to get it cleaned with warm water if you've got it handy, or do the best you possibly can, but also straight into a doctor and straight onto a course of antibiotics, because if you don't, it will blister, it will become a nightmare, and the thought that you may lose part of your limb or whatever, and that's possible. So How did you manage?
I didn't go straight to the doctor. So it was just a small rash, nothing,
Yeah.
like a carpet burn or whatever. But then it ended up to go yellow to a point that I could see raw meat.
Oh, no, it's not good.
So when I called my doctor, he basically said, yeah, run in, which I did. And he said, because if you wait any longer, we're going to cut your leg.
It's amazing how fishing, it doesn't matter how long you've been fishing for, these little things that come along every now and then can really be a problem.
And painful.
Oh, yes.
I actually, they say about 7 days I had to take antibiotics and ointment cream, but it was really full 2 weeks before it healed.
Yeah. Well, Tibby, just learn from it.
So guys, if anything like that happened, don't play with it. Don't be a hero. I didn't try to be a hero. I just thought that's nothing.
Well, you think it's just a scratch, but, you know, there's some nasty things that come off the skin and the slime off fish in
the
particular.
bacteria.
Yeah,
Bacteria is
that's
the
right.
worst.
Yes.
See the doctor. Well, the very next adventure is from last Saturday. We are on some good squid, so let's watch this video. Well, this adventure is from Saturday, 4th of October, and this time we got John with us and we're gonna go and do some research. We're gonna start at Jackrabbit, then we're gonna go towards Mud Island, and the plan is to come back later on and do some, scanning around the wreck, around the new artificial reef, and old channel. Chiquita was ready, John was ready, but as we got out of Clifton Springs boat ramp, it was quite shallow, so we touched the bottom. As I mentioned before, our first stop was Jackrabbit, and here we're gonna target squid. 5 minutes in, and Mima was on, so that was promising. But saying that, after this one squid, we spent another half an hour and we got nothing, so it was time to move. Mima got this squid on the actual mullet jig. As we took off to go towards Prince George, my friend Andrew Westlake was passing by, so I called him and I told him to follow us today. So from here on, we are fishing together. First we did stop at Prince George, but I think Andrew only got one small squid and that was it. Then we took off towards Mud Island and we fished the actual entrance of Lolita Channel. Here we fished depths from 3 to 7 meters, and we started slow, but we managed few. The first squid Mima gets here, it's again on that Yamashita mullet jig. The squid was actually quite small. They were not big squid in this area, but still, they're beautiful to eat, even small like that, and they make a great bait. So snappers on the way, make sure you get yourself a lot of fresh bait. Second squid, Mima again, the same jig. So this was a little bit strange because one jig started doing all the damage. As we landed this squid, then John started catching him on his side, but he had the duo gold color jig that I got from Chris at Bite and Tackle here in Drysdale, and it proved to be actually quite good jig. He got one, then he got another one on the same jig, so it was promising. Then Mima gets another one, but this time on a Clicks green jig. And that jig actually is one of our favorites as well, and it's been catching quite a bit of fish. So today we got the gold jig, we got the Yamashita, obviously mullet color, and that Clicks green jig. As we put that one in the live well, on the other side, John was on another one. Well, guess what? Now John got one on the actually Yamashita mullet jig that he confiscated from Mima. Anyway, we spent here about an hour, we got few, Andrew got few, and it was time to move. This time we decided we're gonna go back to St Leonards in front of the yacht club and see how we go. As we got close to St Leonards, there was heaps and heaps of boats around. Most of them were anchored, and obviously they were trying for King George. We decided to go very shallow, and that was a good move because as we got there, John was on the squid straight away. Now, have a look. Again, that Yamashita mullet jig that he pinched from Mima. Mima really didn't care because she was still catching him, this time on the green clicks jig. Yeah, calamari were a little bit bigger than the ones we got at Mud Island and at Prince George. Just to make a happy story, while we were catching, Andrew was catching as well, so that was a really good feeling. Then John started to scream because he had a little bit bigger squid, so it was a little bit of fight on his hand. Now have a look, again, Mima's Yamashita mullet jig. All this happened while I was actually live on Facebook, so if you want to watch this action live, you can follow us on the Facebook. 3 minutes later, Yamashita jig again. That Yamashita jig, it's a glow jig and doesn't have much colors, it's just natural pilchard, it's just silver, that's it. But it works unbelievable. So we moved up and down a few times, we actually seen Andrew catch quite a few fish, everybody was happy.
Well, we ended up with quite few squid, and I must say the Yamashita mullet jig did most of the damage.
Which John pinched from Mima.
He did.
Well, have a look at this. John on another big squid. Smiling, laughing, priceless. John has lots of fishing experience. He's been in fishing and boating since dinosaurs. He fished every corner of Australia, big fish, small fish, tuna, mullen, you name it, and overseas. But still, you catch fish, doesn't matter how big it is, what it is, it's just that happy moment. It makes you happy, you never have enough of it. And then another happy moment. While Mima was preparing the food and feeding Chiquita and me and John and everybody, her rod took off, and this time I grabbed it, and that was the biggest squid of the day. John had the landing net, and I'll be honest, at first I thought that's it, we lost it, but he had a second chance and we landed this squid, and it was actually nice size. This squid took that green clicks jig. Well, there we go. That's the only time I grabbed the rod and I landed the biggest squid. In the meantime, just beside us, Andrew landed a small cuttlefish. Now have a look how close we are to the shore. Actually, I took the big camera just so you can see. We in the shallows. I'm talking about what, 2.5 meters depth? And we've been catching left, right and center. There was other people that we know around as well, and they were catching some squid. And for us, it was time to go because we had another plan. We wanted to scan around the wreck, at the artificial reef, the old channel, just to see what's going on around. Well, we did just that. And in all honesty, at the wreck, small flatheads, nothing. We came to artificial channel, dead. At the old channel there was lots of boats around, but nobody turned the reel. And then when we got back, guess what? Low tide, people start getting stuck. We actually helped this fella out. We grabbed the rope and I actually got him out of trouble, but while I went to get my trailer, another 3 boats got stuck. Well, it's time to dredge this boat ramp.
Typical Melbourne weather this week. We've had everything from beautiful sunny days to absolute wind and rain, but the fishing has still been very, very consistent out there. Starting offshore, it's fantastic to see some southern bluefin tuna move back into the area. They're a little hit and miss, but they are there for the guys that want to start looking around. We've been seeing fish right in front of the heads, moving back down towards the coast, with by the looks of it, another patch of fish moving into the Portland area as well. So over the coming weeks, fingers crossed, we get a good run of these fish. Sizing from that 80 all the way through to 130 odd kilos being taken on a mixture of techniques. Guys dropping pilchards, they're getting fish that way. trawling, and some of the smaller fish have been taking and casting some baits around as well. So that's been really good to see. So keep an eye if you're offshore, because they're obviously good fun. Moving back inshore, we're starting to see in through the head some good snappers starting to come through. Land-based again this week has seen some good fish taken off Lonsdale Pier, Queenscliff Pier, down to St Leonards, and again, once again, Port Arlington. So with this stirred up weather that's been pushing through, it's kept these fish up and running, so it's been good to see. In fact, I'm almost going to go and say land-based spots have been doing better than some of the boat anglers at the moment. So that will change, but if you're a land-based angler at the moment, get out there and make the most of that. Squid, been some good squid reports floating around. Once again, this weekend just gone by, probably Port Arlington was the best of the areas. But again, St Leonards was producing some good squids. The entranceway there at Swan Bay, there was a lot of boats moving through that area. But it was a little hit and miss, but there was some good squid taking in that area as well, which is good to see. For the whiting fishermen, some good whiting around, but they've been a little bit difficult. If you're not fishing, because the water's been relatively clear, we need to be fishing first thing before that sun pops up, or we're going to fish on the other end of the night, the late evening, late afternoon into the evening. Again, most of those places, Port Arlington's been okay. St Leonards into Queenscliff have probably been the best of the locations. Fresh squid mixed up with pippies, doing cocktails has probably been the best way of doing that. Good burley trails, but be prepared to do a little bit of moving, because that's just the type of the fishery is at the moment. And they are quality whiting. The numbers may not be a bag limit capture. You don't need to. 10 or 12 fish are the size of these fish are at the moment. You're coming home for an excellent feed. Also, some good flathead on the drift. Across that Clifton Springs area has been some quality good flathead moving through. Also, be on the lookout for schools of snapper moving through that area too, especially towards the edge of that channel. So good luck, guys, and enjoy.
Well, today we're going to finish with a happy story. Sam from Care to Adventure actually took young Levi fishing. And Levi pops up dressed up as a happy fisherman with a happy fisherman t-shirt. And yeah, apparently he loves his fishing. That's his favorite show. He would love to be on the show. He would actually love to be on the boat with us. We're going to try our best to surprise him, I suppose, one day. And I didn't know, Care to Adventure, I didn't know that these kind of things exist. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, also well done, guys. I do know that they caught quite a few fish. So well done, Sam and Levi. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to try to get Sam to come on the show and talk to us why nature is so important for mental health.
No, it's amazing. It's just that support and that kind of stuff that it's out there. If you do have a problem, come on, just come out. Please ask, because there is heaps of people that will help you.
Okay, now just to finish, next week it's the boat show. And if you guys are coming to the boat show, please come and say hi to us.
We'll be at the Geelong Marine stand, and yeah, we're more than happy to see you.
Once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Write us a comment, press the like button, and we will see you next time.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big